1
Yeah.
1 p.m. almost. 12:40 to be precise.
12:40. Okay.
So since we are all here, let's do a 5 minutes meditation, 10 minutes meditation, or we can do a good violet flame decree, however it works.
Violet flame degree I would like to experience. I've never done that.
Degree. Okay.
Okay. Let me just share my screen. So I will be, what I will do is, I will put the decree on the chat window, or I think I can open the decree on my screen share. Yeah, let me do that. So today we will do a violet flame forgiveness decree. Forgiveness is something which has been told by masters to be something which we need to continue for the rest of our life. And as per the masters, we um, we must not hold on to any regrets or disappointments. And this is something which needs to be done in a very precise way. Sometimes people say, like I'm from India, so in Hindi movies, in the end, either one of the character would be making a lot of errors, and he or she will be acting weird, like a villain, and in the end, that person would be confessing that God forgive me for all my sins. So it's actually doesn't work like that. So the masters say that when you ask for forgiveness, all you need to do is you need to, as much as you can, try to reach out to that particular moment in time when this happened, and visualize as much as you can and be authentic about it. Like, I made an error with a servant where I was violent with him, and I was aggressive in my language, and I reach out to that moment and I say that please forgive me for this error. And all we are doing is we are, let's say, assimilating as much as we can, and then whatever we don't remember, we just say that please pardon me for this error, whatever errors I have made to myself or to others, and then do it with a kneel, in the kneeling position. Why we need to kneel down is because our lower mind, the dweller is in the knees. It's in basically the lower part of our body, below the navel. So the dweller, or the lower body, exists below the navel area. And when we are kneeling, we are shedding down that negative energy. And I'm going to be playing one of these days, not today because we don't have time, but in the voice of Ascended Master Elizabeth, one of her lectures, in which she has told that kneeling actually means that we are giving away the dweller in the threshold that we have within us. And it's an important act to kneel down, because that also kneeling down also says that we are giving away our ego. We are not bowing in front of anybody, to be quite honest. It's basically we are bowing in front of our own I am presence. It's a very beautiful context. So then we make this prayer, and then we ask for forgiveness and say that please transmute this energy, all the record, effect, cause, record, effect, and memory. So cause, effect, record, and memory are the elements which are, the way they are divided is cause and effect are more oriented around our consciousness or our presence. We might have some memory to them in the living presence and consciousness, but the record and memory are, they occur beyond our understanding and our memory and our presence, because there are so many things that we cannot relate to. Like, I can't relate to my anger, so I had I feel that in a very minimal way, but then I still it exists, but I had anger in my solar plexus, and I never understood the reason of this anger in my solar plexus. And it manifests in the form of anger, and it has no limitations. Now, I didn't know about this. What does this mean actually? But then eventually, when I understood this, then I understood that yeah, this exists in me. So when I bow down in front of the altar or my I am presence, I am asking to please take away these errors which are beyond my understanding. So I don't have any memory or any medical reason for this, and there is no doctor to heal to take care of this. But this is a pattern which I have. So when things which are within us, all of us have something which are there within us for which we cannot remember. That I don't remember any error, I made an error or somebody else did to me, so I hurt somebody or somebody else hurt me. So what could be the reason? So those things we say that please transmute those energies. So we keep doing that actually. So today what we are doing is we will be doing a prayer of forgiveness. Let's do it 3 times, and I'll present the screen share so you can read it along with me, and you can read it loud. Okay, let's do it in a sync, and then let's begin the session. No, you can keep your hands like this. I was just holding it for generally. So the hands have to be kept like this on our lap. On our lap, you can keep it on your lap. Either you can keep it on your lap and your hands like this. That's one of the ways which has been recommended. Or you can touch your heart and keep both the hands here, because a violet flame is a flame of heart. It operates from the heart. So both are okay. Yeah, yes. Left hand first, right hand later. First, here below the rib, just below the rib.
Right hand above the left or left above the right? Does it?
Anju, left hand is always touching. Right hand moves when we do chakra healing. So, but now we are just going to be doing one single decree. So, we put both the hands together, but left hand always comes first.
Okay.
And I don't remember right now the reason for it, but I'll get back to you on that. There is a scientific reason for it. Welcome, Meena. Welcome. So we are doing this decree. All of them requested. So that's the reason. And I'm going to be just starting the session with an invocation. One second. And I would suggest to download these invocation and closing prayers and the decree book, which is there in the link, so that it's handy with you, because you need to use it very often. As I'll show this to you today, you might you might see the necessity of doing it by yourself, and you might understand the necessity of having this book at your disposal all the time, at your disposal all the time. 1 second. Yeah. So let me know if you see my screen, and I'm going to be playing something if you hear the sound also.
Of the I am that I call for the full power of the light of God that never.
Were you able to listen? Are you able to hear? Okay. So I'm playing the decree. I'm playing the invocation, and then we will do the decree. So let me know if this is okay, if it's readable, or I can increase the size.
We can read it, brother.
Is it okay? Okay, fine. So that's the whole the prayer. That's the invocation, and yeah. For this, you can just keep your hands like this, and that's fine.
In the name of the I am that I call for the full power of the light of God that never fails. Let the mighty threefold flame that burns upon the altar of our heart now so be filled with the light of the blue lotus and the temple of the blue lotus. Let it be filled now by the mighty action of that retreat. Beloved great causal body of beloved Lord Himalaya, O mighty action of the light, descend now for the multiplication of the flame of the resurrection and the flame of freedom, the flame of the will of God of the Manus, unto all members of the fourth root race. Beloved Serapis Bey, beloved Gabriel and hope, beloved mighty Estrella and purity, we call for an absolute God-victorious, invincible momentum of the flame of cosmic purity, the flame of the blue lotus, the flame of white fire and blue lightning to descend into the very heart of the earth for the cleansing of all members of the fourth root race, of cause, effect, record, and memory of their straying from the path of Lord Himalaya on Lemuria and subsequently in their incarnations. O Lords of Flame, Sanat Kumara, 7 holy Kumaras, 7 beloved archangels and Elohim, we call thee forth now in the name of the Ancient of Days. Come forth now, O mighty ones. Come forth now, O mighty ones. Come forth for the consecration of the victory and the ascension in the light of the fourth root race. We thank thee and accept it on this hour in full power. Amen.
So let me quickly share the decree. So let me know if you see the screen. Is it readable? Is it readable? Okay, readable. Okay, fine. So we from almost all the decrees there is always a preamble, and then there is a body, and there is a closing prayer. We'll be doing the preamble together. You can unmute and you can do it along with me. Let's all do it in unison. Yeah. And if you have a question, please unmute and ask, because I wouldn't be able to see you because yeah. Okay. So okay, let's begin. Beloved, mighty, victorious presence of God, I am in thee. Beloved, holy Christ self, beloved, holy Christ Father, beloved, great karmic guru, beloved Kuan Yin, goddess of mercy, beloved Guru and Lenelo, the entire spirit of the great white brotherhood and the world mother, elemental life, fire, air, water, and earth, in the name and by the power of the presence of God, which I am, and by the magnetic power of the sacred fire vested in me, I call upon the law of forgiveness and that boil and transmuting flame for each transgression of thy law, each departure from thy sacred covenants. Restore in me the Christ mind. Forgive my wrongs and unjust ways. Make me obedient to thy code. Let me walk humbly with thee all my days. In the name of the Father, the Mother, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I decree for all whom I have ever wronged, and for all who have ever wronged me.
Violet fire.
Violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free. I am, surrounded by a pillar of violet flame. I am, abounding in your love, O God, supreme. I am, complete by the pattern of perfection so fair. I am, God's radiant flame of love, splendid, falling through the air. Fall on us, fall on us, fall on us. Blaze through us, blaze through us, blaze through us, saturate us, saturate us, saturate us. We will replace the violet fire with the mercy's flame. And then in the third repetition, we will replace it with the purple flame. Mercy flame enfold us, mercy flame enfold us, mercy flame enfold us, mercy flame hold us, mercy flame hold us, Mercy flame,
Mercy
hold
flame,
us. Mercy flame,
mercy
set us
flame,
free.
hold us.
Mercy flame,
Mercy
set us
flame,
free. Mercy flame,
mercy
set us
flame.
free. I am surrounded by a pillar of violet flame. I am abounding in pure love for God's great name. I am complete by the pattern of perfection so fair. I am God's radiant flame of love gently falling through the air. Fall on us, fall on us, fall on us. Blaze through us, blaze through us, blaze through us. Saturate us, saturate us, saturate us.
And in full faith.
Purple flame enfold us, purple flame enfold us, purple flame enfold
Flame
us,
and soul.
purple flame hold us, purple flame hold us, purple flame hold us, purple flame
Purple
set us
flame,
free,
set us
purple
free.
flame
Purple
set us
flame,
free, purple flame set us
flame,
free.
set us free.
I
I
am
am
surrounded by a pillar of violet flame. I
surrounded.
am abounding in pure love for God's great name. I am complete by the pattern of perfection so fair. I am God's radiant flame of love gently falling through the air. Fall on us, fall on us, fall on us, blaze through us, blaze through us, blaze through us, saturate us, saturate us, saturate us.
With us.
And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest, manifest, manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest, manifest, manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest, 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 right here and now, with full power, eternally sustained, all powerfully active, ever expanding and world unfolding, until all are wholly ascended in the light and free. Beloved I am, beloved I am, beloved I am. Everyone say Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen is that we are accepting it, this prayer in the name of God. So let's begin. We had so any questions from yesterday? Anything that you want to share before we start this session?
No, I have no question.
No questions from me, brother.
Okay. So Parvinder he couldn't join because he had some other work, urgent work come up. But how this will go is we would complete today's 4 rays, remaining 4 rays, 4 through 7, and complete our Q&A for all the 7 rays if we have any. And then I'll leave you with a simple task, and the other people who are going to be listening to this video could also join in with that task for the rest of the week. And I would be sharing the assessment sheet with all of you, and with a request, and that's a humble request, and it's also one of the mandate from the Summit Lighthouse, who are the publishers of this report, to keep it to yourself until and unless you really are working with somebody who you can help and who asks for this help to use this for their own benefit. However, I will be sharing this in the group, and I will be sharing the link in the group, so all the people in the group would have access to that. So I will explain you about the assessment before we conclude the session, so that you know how to browse through it, basically the flow of the entire assessment, and what is the exercise meant to do, what is the meaning of that exercise, and what is the desired outcome of that exercise, and a little more about how you can go about it eventually. I'll share some experiences. Let me just open the document. So let me know if you see the screen and you find it legitimate to read. Is it readable?
Yes, brother. We can see that.
Yes.
Okay. So we completed the 3rd ray, up till the 3rd ray yesterday. And if I were to, okay, sorry, this. Okay. So we completed till the 3rd ray. And if you look at the causal body chart, it has the rest of the rays in a different order. So essentially, we went from the first ray, second ray, and third ray, and then the others are in different order. But that's the way it has been designed. But each color has its own significance. So let's. So the fourth ray is basically white in color. I can explain you about the colors very briefly. So I think what Parvinder did yesterday, he had given you a brief snapshot of the colors, and the detailed things you can, to go into the source of each color. You can view the previous session that happened. I think the third session, that is a session on the chakras. But essentially, the major difference between the source of these colors and these are not the accurate colors. The accurate colors are, if I were to show you, are they appear somewhat like this. Like this. Can you see this? Can you see this chart?
Yes. Oh, concentric circle.
No, you're not able to see the chart. Okay,
No.
1 minute. Okay, this I have to unshare every time. This must be advanced. Okay, anyway, I'll play around with later. So this is the chart, but if you see on the extreme right, you will see these colors. So these are the accurate colors of each ray. And these colors are actually come from the great central sun, and the way we knew about them is through the various messengers who have shared about these colors through the ascended masters. And as Parminder was explaining, blue and yellow and the pink, these three colors, they come from the plume of the threefold flame. And I'm not sure if you are aware of the threefold flame. Are you aware of the threefold flame? No?
No.
Nobody?
No.
Sister Mabel, no? You have not attended the session. I thought you have. Okay. So threefold flame is another, gift which has been given to us by our Father, Mother, God. Okay, and it's a amazing gift given to us. But I'll just show you the threefold flame. We will talk about it later. It is located just below the ribs, where the two ribs meet in the center, and that's the place. And its size is 1/16 of an inch. I'll just show you how this looks, which gives you a little access to it. So that's how the threefold flame looks. Okay. One second. This is how it looks. And this is our connection with our I am presence. There are times when people lose this connection, and that's the worst time, in fact, when people become thankless, they become completely closed. They would make hurt others, but they would never realize it. They will become very completely insensitive. That's a stage when a person is reaching a stage of without a threefold flame, and the person becomes soulless, and it's a very dangerous stage. Such people never forgive others. So if you meet them after 20 years, they will remind you of your error, and they will remind you of the mistakes that you have done. They will remind you of how they are in pain. They'll make you feel guilty. So God says that we have no right to condemn ourselves, and we must forgive ourselves, and we must forgive everybody. And that's a requirement by God, and we need to do it ongoingly. Forgiveness is something which we need to continue to do ongoingly. I think I've shared this briefly earlier. So why I'm saying this is because threefold flame is a very key ingredient in our ascension process. Any ascended master who has been spending their time on the planet Earth before they got ascension, they had been working on mastering these powers of the threefold flame. And um, I just want to make it simple that there is a connection of the threefold flame with all our chakras, and the threefold flame with all the 7 rays, and also the threefold flame with all the secret rays. We will talk about the secret rays. That's a very advanced stage. It's a fine-tuned stage of the qualities of God. But just to give you a connection, okay? So we can. There was a time when the threefold flame was equal to our height of our body, which in the golden age was around 9 feet, as said, as so heard by the various lectures from Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and this has been shared by ascended masters. So the size of the threefold flame was 9 feet, and that was the size of the human being. But over the periods of centuries, we actually indulged into a lot of karmic. We once we got our free will, the moment when we got our free will, we used it incorrectly to create negative karma, and this happened long back. And that is when we started, the size of the threefold flame started reducing, and now it is 1/16th of an inch. It's a very technical thing, and it has a very strong science. We need multiple lectures to talk about this, but for the moment I just want to make you present to this. These colors have a very strong meaning. These are not random colors. These colors exist in our body, and the threefold flame, these 3 flames that you see, these are called as plumes. So each plume has a significance. So, and this center thing is called as lobe. Yeah. So this pink color plume is signifying the love. Pink color signifies love. Yellow color, golden color, in fact, this signifies wisdom. And the blue color, this signifies power. And they are all held together by this loom, which is of white color. So essentially, the threefold flame was given to us by Father Mother God when our seed of the soul was generated in the great central sun, which is the hub, which is the house of the Father Mother God. And great central sun's sun is called as Sirius, the one which provides light to it. That's the planet. Yeah, that's the great central sun itself is a planet, very illuminated, very bright. And anyways, so this threefold flame has been given to us by Father Mother God, and the white color signifies the core color of the great central sun, and through this all the colors have been generated. Now when you look at the 7 rays, and they have 7 colors, they are all mixture of these 3 colors. As Parvinder already explained, that if you mix blue and yellow, it becomes green. If you mix blue and pink, it becomes purple. In different forms, if you keep yellow separate, it's basically golden. and in a different form, if you mix these two, this becomes violet. So we have seventh ray. We have a on Thursday we have golden and purple. On Saturday we have violet. On Sunday we have yellow, and then on Monday we have blue. On Tuesday we have pink, and on Wednesday we have green. So this completes the cycle. And then Thursday I already explained you purple and gold. So this is just a basic understanding of how the colors of the 7 rays have been created. Now let me just share the document back. And that is why I wanted to show you the color, because the colors are very important. Maybe I've just shown you briefly, but it's important for you to remember that these colors are very, very unique. About the same thing, I have also shared the book. There's a book about the chakras and their colors, which I have shared in the link. So if you spend a few minutes, it's a very small, thin book. You can see the actual color, how they look, and you can maybe briefly read about it. And there's a nice book that you can, that book is not in the share drive, but you can buy that book. And that is by Jwal Kul. As Anju was mentioning about Jwal Kul, he is, I'll just write his name and also write the name of the book. This is his name. And the name of the book is, if you allow me a moment, I'll just quickly tell you. Name of the book, the author is Jwalkul and Kuthumi. I think Anju has this book because he was very specific about it. So it looks like.
No, I don't have this book. I'd like to know its name.
Okay.
I like.
It's a very, very famous book. You would get it in Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Jwalkul and Kuthumi, they have written this book, and then of course Elizabeth has got this through them because they are ascended masters. So, and then she's the one who has physically put a note to it. I mean, she has physically transmitted into the writing format, and then this book has been published. Very nice book. This will really help to know more about various chakras and colors. So that's a brief thing. Let me come back to the rays. So 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Now you should be able to see the screen now. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, fine. So this is the spectrum. However, the color varies. The exact colors you can find it in the book, which is uploaded in the drive. And today we'll be talking about the remaining 4 through 7. So I think we'll do it quickly. The fourth color is white, and the sphere is the first one. And the day for white is Friday. Okay. And qualities, personal exam. I mean, this is something which I'm going to be talking about, but yeah, that is important. I'll share. Purity and perfection. What do we mean by that? Purity and perfection means perfection is love. That's the basic criteria. Love is the basic criteria for us to enter into the higher realms of higher octaves of the ascended master teachings. When we are talking about love, it's not the human love. So we will see that we will learn, because this is multidimensional learning, and it's a non-linear way of learning. We will see the different levels of love. We learn different things, various different things, and they merge into love, like maybe peace, maybe patience, maybe giving, many things. And so love will be a lesson which we will continue till the end, till the moment we are on this planet Earth. When one of those there's a quote in Bible where because I don't remember the name right now, but I think it was El Moria. So El Moria, or maybe it's not in Bible actually. El Moria, one of the big ascended masters, very old ascended masters, was was basically taking certain dictation from the karmic board, and he was on the hilltop. Okay, so I'm not fully remembering the exact incidents, but something like that happened where he was taking that dictation, and then when these words of God were given to him, he was given this message on the hilltop. Maybe that was a physical retreat, so that this message can be shared with the whole that particular part of the country where he was born and brought up, and wherever the people knew him. He was a very famous guy. So while he took that message, it was very pure. That was a direct transmission from God coming to him. So after he took the message, he approached from the hilltop. He started his journey downwards, and it was just a small journey, maybe half an hour or so. But then he could see his members on the ground. Couple of his inmates who were close to him. Those inmates were like his chelas, and some of them people who were his disciples. So also workers along with his emissaries. So he observed them. They were chatting, and they were dancing and having fun. And then he felt bad. He felt anger in himself. He had a discord in himself, that why are these people not so much in the awe, or the acceptance, or the just in the mode of receiving, that this such a great word of God is coming to us. This disposition will change our lives. Why are not they in anxious and waiting? Why are they freely enjoying? And he is a very senior master. And that moment, that message that was given to him, that message actually wiped off. And then of course the masters, they only meet when they want to meet. I mean, the ascended masters. So then he had to he had to wait for some time, and then after a period of time, he again approached to that retreat, when the masters, they beamed, and they again gave him their dictation. And he was told that when he actually that point of time created a discord with his people, and that purity left him, and then he cannot pass this message to other people, because that's a precondition for him to be. He has to be in a state of utmost love. So that's what God qualities are so pure. I want to tell you, sometimes these purities, especially some of the ascended masters like Kuthumi. Kuthumi is known, not Kuthumi, in fact, this is Serapis Bey. Serapis Bey is known to be a great disciplinarian. And then also when we ascend, when we work further in this direction, we learn that the teachings of the ascended masters have different levels. There is a level which is called as cosmic surgery, and there are levels which are very basic initiate levels. In the senior levels, there is something called as fierceness in the way they, the masters teach, which means that the love will appear in the form of being very direct, extremely fierce. That fierceness is not, basically anger, or that's not being strict. I mean, it's being stern. It's being definitely stern. But for most of the people, it occurs as if this is somebody is being strict, somebody is being angry or rude. But this can only be practiced. I'm giving a word of caution. When somebody has attained a very good level of mastery, they have reached to a stage where they have mastered at least these rays, and they're working on fine tuning. Basically, they're working on the secret rays. But the way the masters work with these disciples, in especially the discipline of love, is very different. The face and the way they are working is very different. So I have been listening to some dictations from various masters, ascended masters. So from that, I could share this small paragraph with you. So purity and perfection, the path of purity begins with the mastering each of the 12 petals of the heart chakra. So heart chakra is basically on the pink color. So the pink color is the Tuesday, and pink color has 12 petals. So as I was showing you the picture earlier, which you can also revisit later on, but it's a huge big picture. Okay, each picture will have different petals. Like for crown chakra, golden yellow, there are 972 petals. For third eye, you don't need to write because everything is there in the notes. I've shared this presentation. For the third eye, emerald green, there are 96 chakras, 96 petals. For throat, blue in color, there are 16 petals. And like that, heart is 12 and solar plexus is 10. Seat of the soul is 6 and root is 4. Furthermore, when we're talking about 12 petals of heart chakra, each petal represents a particular God quality. Furthermore, a person who has attained certain amount of mastery of the 12 petals qualifies himself to enter into the chamber behind the heart chakra called as the secret chamber. That's again one of the chambers. That's a secret chakra. There are 5 secret chakras. 2 are in the center of the hand, here, and 2 are in the center of our feet, center of the feet, like this, and 1 is in the secret chamber of the heart, behind the heart chakra. Jesus was crucified over here and on the center of the feet, because that's the point where that is our secret chakras. That's the point where our energies emit. When we do a lot of meditation, we will find that these areas will have a different strength, and you will observe some of the saints, they doing like this, and there's some energy coming out of this portion. So these are basically secret chambers of the heart, secret chakras, all of them, which has 8 petals and where he communes with the Atma and the higher self. Perfection in love is the criteria to enter the secret chamber of the heart and remain there by integrating with the higher self. So when we are talking about understanding clarity of the actual goals, the purity is absolute, and we should not consider it as relative and work towards the absolute in every quality. So what it means is that when we do our affirmations or when we do any work, we have to always do this affirmation in this way: I demand God's perfection and purity. I command God's perfection and purity. So this affirmation is like, it will, some people do a lot of prayers in the house. They fire a small, sage, and then they spread that sage in the house. Some people do it, and they do some prayers in the mind. This is a beautiful prayer to do. If you just say this, that I demand God's pure love and light and purity and perfection, and I command God's love and light and purity and perfection, and that's the utmost thing you can ask. And you do this, spread the sage around the house, and you're doing this affirmation. It's more than anything that you can ever ask. Purifies the place. Light energy will free people, and dark energy tries to control people and generate fear and pride. I'm just reading, these are certain notes. Okay. Then we talk about self-discipline and morality. A very significant requirement for mastering the quality of purity is through self-discipline. So we have spoken about obedience in the first ray, and I was telling you that the obedience is one element, and there is one more element about discipline, and now this has come in the fourth ray. So they work hand in glove. Okay, but we have to understand the self-discipline from the perspective of God's eye, and that's why it is different, which means surrendering the energies of the human self to the higher self through the self-discipline. Morality implies obeying divine morals that stem from the golden rule, which means we are talking again about morality implies obeying. So they are saying that this is just one level of doing it, and this is an advanced level. Do unto others as you wish to be done to thyself. Have you heard this phrase? Do unto others as you wish to be done to thyself. Yeah. So here again, self-discipline is the binding force to obey the moral codes embedded in the golden rule. To shed negative energies, one must be shacked. What do you mean by that? Sometimes self-discipline needs some people to go through physical pain. And sometimes the self-discipline for some people means that they have to go through some psychological pain. And when you go through certain pain, there are some people in your life who might be always, you can use this word as bugging you, that, hey, Akash, I see that you don't, you know, you don't do things in organized way. Hey, Akash, I don't see that you plan while you do things. And they constantly keep bugging you. These people could be in your office. These people could be your very close. Usually, they are some people who have some authority, or and they have authority, and also they have a lot of close connection with you. So they could be friends, family members, or some people who have authority over you. So do not, most of the time, these conversations are cyclic. So sometimes we experience such people and we get away from them, like we change our job, or we change our friends, and maybe we change our country. So what happens? Though we have changed the location, we have changed the people, but this energy will follow us. It will not leave us. This energy will not. So to your surprise, you will see the same kind of a message coming from a different face, in a different style. And then you will realize that, oh my God, again, I'm in the same place. So this is why it is called as cyclic. So the only way that you can, get forward is that you can shed away these energies by you receiving that message. This is the message that is coming from angels, from the masters, through these people, so that you can learn a lesson. They are trying to guide you. Yeah. And this is there for all of us. We all will see such kind of things happening with us. That is why we need to shed this negative energy. Life, hope, positive spirals. What do you mean by that? A spiritual meaning of life and life is basically is light. So because life is made out of light, that is why we call life and light as a synonym. Earlier I explained to you that we can replace light with love and love with perfection. So these are all synonyms. That is why there is a strong connection between these words in the spiritual domain. It's an ever-growing and upwardly rising spiral of energy that moves a person freely who has mastered this quality of integration with this light. So essentially, the energies below the heart chakra are the lower, and above the heart chakra are the higher. We need both, and they both have to work up and down. Like example, there is a lift which is going up, and there's a lift which is coming down, and the chakras are basically flowing energy like this. They operate in pairs. So the chakra which is above our heart, which is basically our throat, works in the pair with the chakra just below our heart, which is basically our solar plexus. So solar plexus and throat work in tandem. And like that, the third eye and the sacral work in tandem, and like that, the crown and the root work in tandem. So they work in pairs. What is happening is that we are trying to make sure that our energies is spiraling up. When we say this, we mean that the energies is, so when we do heart, we do chakra meditation, there is a step when we complete balancing of all the chakras, we raise our energy level, we raise the energy of our light. There is a specific step which we do that's also shared in the drive. So you might want to visit that and try it out for yourself. It's very nice. So after completing that balancing and cleansing of chakras, we raise the energy from our root chakra up to our crown chakra, and we do it 3 to 4 times. So that's what they're talking about. The kundalini energy has to rise from the root up to the crown. That's what they're saying. The upwardly rising spiral of energy that moves in a person freely, who has mastered this quality of integrating with the light. This spiral continues to expand in the person exponentially in a positive direction, in a clockwise. So it's just rotating. This energy is always rotating. It's never, the energies of the chakras are in the rotational form. They are rotating clockwise. The spiral contains positive energies, which are in sync with the cosmic energies. Spiral energy or divine energy or cosmic or the kundalini goes from the root to the crown. Yeah. Joy and spiritual bliss. So joy is a very high state of being. It's said that when people are in the state of joy, they are very close to the God. If you look at the children, when they are happy, you don't know when you see them smiling, but when you see the kids, when you see the children smiling, there's a smile on your own face, so you don't need a reason. So that's the infectious nature of joy. So being in the state of joy is being close to God, being close to the divine. The positive spiral also contains in it the energies of joy and spiral bliss. The state of a person who is in the spiritual bliss can be best understood by visualizing him sailing in the sailboat while the boat keeps moving effortlessly towards its destination, with winds filling the sails automatically. When you are in the state of bliss, means we are the one with the cosmic energy. We are at the right place at the right time at always. So things like synchronicities, serendipities, they start to occur normally because ascended masters are always around us. So yesterday Sister Mabel was saying I was always protected, I didn't know that, and that is true. Our higher self is always connected with us, and our God self is always connected with us, but we only need to remember that. And for doing that, sometimes we need to, whatever we may need to do, we must do it. Sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to shag off the negative energies, as we have written here. We were talking, right? To shed negative energies, one must be shagged. So that's sometimes required, but we must do whatever is required to drop our egos. Wholeness, all oneness. Such a person feels whole or complete within himself as a trinity of three principles of the God head, as Father Brahma, Son Vishnu, Holy Spirit Shiva, in the Divine Mother matter. The word alone no longer means to him as a lonely one, but he feels connected with all life, which means sometimes people feel that they are alone and they digress from their spiritual progress. But the real progress, people who are working on the path, and they really truly know that they are protected and they are always accompanied by the angels and the masters, they never feel this way. Their growth never stops. Okay, they're always connected both in the heaven and the earth. Symmetry, geometry, that's a beautiful word. The word God means geometry of divinity. Did you know this? No, I don't think. I never knew it. In spiritual sense, this person has mastered the science of spirit, burning, taking the birth in the form of the matter, which is human blood and flesh. So he has purified his body to become congruent with the higher self, to be one with the body, which is in symmetry or in sync with each other. Yeah. I will read this line again. He has purified his body to become congruent with the higher self, to be as one body which is in symmetry or in sync with each other. So essentially it is, if you remember the earlier race, it is in a similar lines talking that you become one with your all the three different states, your I am presence, God self, your higher self, as well as your Jivatma. Example, King Arthur. So King Arthur was basically one of the incarnations of El Moria. He was asked that there was a very big hump of semisphere of rock which was carved, chipped around a sword. So some great sculpture, he had chipped off a big stone and made a half pierced or a half immersed sword into a semisphere of rock. So there was a rock of semisphere and then a sword, half sword inside that rock, all made of rock. And there was a announcement that a person who could separate this sword from this rock will be the announced as a new king, which means that a person should be able to separate the rock and convert this thing into metal. So basically somebody who has mastered the science of spirit to matter, convert it into matter and convert matter into spirit, the only person who can do that is that. And El Moria, when he was in the incarnation of in he was in the incarnation of King Arthur. At the age of 15, he picked it up, picked the sword, the rock sword, and pulled it out, and that converted into metal. How beautiful is that, you know? And people were amazed that how could a 15-year-old convert rock into metal? So these things are not astonishing. We have heard about this in many stories from, stories of Krishna, Lord Krishna, Jesus Christ, and many, many masters who do things which are unbelievable. But these things are practically possible. It's because they have been practicing these virtues. Law, order, co-measurement. As above, so below. The laws and the orders of heaven's spirit realm are easily understood by this person because he embodies them, meaning that co-measurement becomes clear to him as he knows the discern truth from error by comparing lower interpretations of a conversation with a higher interpretation. As above, so below means that the kingdom consciousness of God exists in him in the same as the earth exists in heaven. It can be further explained that he is like a coin of the two sides, with the two sides, the head as the heaven and the tail as the earth. So a person who understands that the creation of God in the relative self of time and form and space, and the God himself in the form of nothingness, in the formlessness, are not but same. They mean one. And the person who understands the power of spiritual octave as well as the power of matter, the earth octave, and then he can live in both, coexist in both. So this coexistence is not an ordinary thing. Such people can also ascended master Babaji. He did not ascend. He is an ascended master. But Babaji, Mahavatar Babaji, he comes into physical form on his will, and he leaves his physical body on his will, and he goes back to his etheric retreat. And there are certain people who are able to do that. They can travel through distance very, very quickly. All this is basically through mastering these realms of consciousness and also the form of matter. Also, the real truth. When we practice certain these things, then we understand the meaning of real truth. As I was telling earlier, that we develop a capacity to listen and to receive a lot of perceptions, a lot of different ideas and understanding from different people, and discern what is true and what is not true. That happens. I can tell you from my experience. So there is no a certain method to do it, but it happens. You would experience it if you continue to do your degrees and you practice your own these God qualities by surrendering and practicing each one of them. Divine architecture, blueprint of life. This person is able to understand the interconnection of energies between spirit and physical realm, macro and micro. He knows the meaning behind secret spiritual codes embedded in the architectural structures in the world, interpretation of the blueprint of complex Simply put, he knows how life is continuously being created in the mind of God from the very beginning, and how the creation is being run by the Creator, and how we as the offsprings of God play an important role. So a person who understands the divine architecture, by the way, El Moria was a very great architect in Egypt, and he was the one who invented the pyramids. And his name was, I don't remember right now, but he was worshipped for a very, very long time over there. And like that, there are many other, like Confucius in the region of China, and he was along with Lord Lanto, and so many. So architecture is basically a geometry of God. Yeah. So people who who practice the discipline of ascended master teachings, they are able to understand various shapes and sizes and what are the meanings of them. So that's all it means. If you understand the pyramid is a very beautiful structure which helps you to integrate your energy, focus that energy into a very centered point. If you remember, as a child, we used to do this. Our there's a glass, concave glass, convex glass, which is used to focus the energy of sun, and we used to put it on a paper, and we used to burn the paper. So essentially what we are talking about is we can focus our energies to a specific point by meditation, and and we can use various structures to do that. So pyramid is one of the beautiful structure. That's why it's very famous in Egypt, and now it is famous in the whole of the world. And there are other architectures also. The pyramid is one of them. Using those architectures, we actually integrate our energies, and it's very swift for us to receive the messages of God. When we sit for a prayer meditation, that prayer is amplified into 1,000 times. That I have personally experienced it. Like, I was not in my own self. I don't even have a recollection of anything around me at the physical plane when I was in that mode of meditation, sitting in the pyramid in Bangalore. On the top, there's a special chamber of that pyramid where you go directly to the top of that, and it's around 1,000 feet in the height, close to that, maybe 800 feet. Okay, now we are talking about perversions, right? So we've completed the qualities. So perversion is nothing but opposite of the quality. Essence, anything which is impure and imperfect is what we need to transmute into purity. So I think I will just browse through it quickly, because main important point is to move to the purity aspect. So impurity is is just a complete inverse of it. So impurity and perfection for a person is basically in their thoughts and words and actions. As I told you, words have more implication on the negative karma, but our thoughts and feelings also have. So when I was telling in the beginning to all of you that we pray, we sit for doing a decree, forgiveness decree, or any kind of decree, and we pray to the God that transmute our negativity and certain things which we don't even recall. We must include in that our feelings and our thoughts also, because at one point of time we don't have control over them. And we must remember that this action has to be taken by us. We can't do it on our own. Yeah, so we have to do it. We have to ask, include the feelings and thoughts also, to transmute those feelings and thoughts into the violet fire.
Yes. Yes. I need help, masters. I need help.
Yeah. Can you please mute yourself so we can continue? If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask me. Okay, no question. So I was saying that a person will do this, and so the imperfect self has a lot of implication on the lower bodies: etheric, mental, emotional, and physical. And imperfect in love as going against the first principle of the nature, which disqualifies him to not becoming the instrument of his higher self. So it's present in all of us. We must remember, as I was telling earlier, that the perversions are present in each one of us. We must continue to work in the process of a person who says that I have approached and I have reached a place, and they take a stand, they become inflexible, they get into a mindset, a fixed mindset. That's not the highest learning. The highest learning is we are always in the process of learning, always in the process of perfecting. Even when we become masters, ascended masters, we are still perfecting. So the divine love is always more subtle. It is always humble. It's We have to remember that. Purest form of learning, the highest truth, will never make you feel overconfident, or never make you feel pride in yourself, never make you feel that you have a stand to take, or you are someone who is like, you know, this is my principle and this shall happen in this way. You don't be righteous at that point of time. Lack of self-control and morality. Lack of self-control means that you don't have any control over your thoughts, emotion, habits, anything. And that person is basically has no control over themselves, so they can't predict themselves. I have no control over myself. I can't predict myself. So if I say something, you may not rely on me because I don't have integrity of that. Such a person has a little or no respect for the moral values of himself or others, and they will disregard and they will disobey the rules. Death, discouragement, negative spirals. So these people basically go on the downward spiral. As I was telling about the upward spiral, they are going from upward to downward. Always their energies are going in the below the navel. Below the navel is nothing but the lower chakras. They can reach to a stage of death and eventually a death of their soul permanently. That's a very dangerous state, by the way. Lust, human desire, patterns, misuses of a sacred fire. So such people will exhaust energies in fulfilling their human desires and satisfying their flesh pleasures and lust and having good time. Eat, drink, and be merry. And they will not care about any of the any of the learnings which are given to them at the higher level. So these are the patterns which go downwards. Eventually, they will destruct themselves and people around. Separateness, incompleteness, loneliness. So people who are always cribbing about being lonely and depressed, and they are separate from others, they are unique from the society, and they're incomplete in themselves, they always attract negative energy, and that's basically creating negative karma. Asymmetry is nothing but in terms of people filled with the perversions that are in the state of disarray, means they are not sync with the divine blueprint. Basically, they are out of symmetry or out of geometry of the nature, and they are decaying in their spiral. Again, it's a now downward movement of spiral, but in the form of asymmetry. So they form their own patterns. They will not align with any learnings or meditation, or they will not agree with anything. They will say that I don't agree with anything. They are non-believers, you could say. Non-believer in God, non-believer in humanity itself. So they become asymmetrical to the human. Lawlessness, human in the sense of the God's creation human. Lawlessness, anarchy, and that this way of being is also a form of pride actually. Lawlessness, anarchy, chaos, absence of interchange between the spirit and matter. The person who embodies this perversion has chosen to live a life full of chaos, confusion, disrespect of the law and the order. He has created a wedge between himself and the higher self to stop flow of energy of positive communication. So basically, somebody who is embodying this perversion, he has chosen a life full of chaos, confusion all the time. They will not respect anything or anybody. They will also lie. They will reach to a stage where they become pathological liars. So a person who has created a wedge between himself and the higher self, they stop the flow of energy of the positive communication. So God has told us to not to preach a person who doesn't want to learn or who is in this stage. We had read that in the second this thing. Don't throw away your jewels. Don't throw your jewels to the swine. Basically, don't give a person who doesn't want that energy. In the process, you are basically lowering your own energy. Sometimes we feel we must help a person, and then the person is not ready to listen to you. We must not give our jewels to them. In other words, he does not hear the words of his own consciousness. So he is not connected with his soul. Okay, so we must not do that also. Distortion of divine design. A sad conclusion is that such person decides to take the left-handed path, which is nothing but thwarts the divine plan and inheriting immortal life as the son and daughter of God. So he basically detests the idea of being a son and daughter of God. So I'll go to the fifth ray, which is nothing but the in color. It is green in color and it comes on Wednesday. That's the fifth ray. Any questions so far? Are we all good? Okay, great. So the fifth ray is qualities is truth, abundance, and supply. If you look at this, it's all about truth is about the spoken word Aham Brahmasmi. A person who is not relating to himself as a physical matter, but he is an instrument of God. He begins to follow the footsteps of divine, of the saints, of the adepts, of like we are now chelas, okay? We have not reached to the stage of saints and adepts, but we are still part of the Great White Brotherhood. So one of the steps we must take is to create our sangha. Today, if I have a problem, you come and give me a helping hand, and I do that for you, and then later on you do for somebody else, and somebody else does for somebody else. This is very, very important. Buddha said that one of the important ingredients of the enlightenment is to the whole of the teaching is about being with the sangha. Okay, it's very, very, very important. So I am all the adepts talking about this particular thing. A person who instead of looking at his path, he follows the footsteps of the saints and adepts and who have gone before him to become one of them. I am that I am. Om Aham Brahmasmi. He does not anymore feel lack of abundance in his life, supply, prosperity, etc. So when we reach to a stage when we know that anything that we want is available to us, all that truly our heart desire from the highest good, which is for the highest good of ourselves, of others, and of the Mother Earth, is available to us. All the means and resources are available to us. A person who knows this and who knows that the future is self-created every single moment, and who believes in this power of I am that I am, and he continues to. He is a explorer, or you can see he is a seeker, and somebody who is like that will continue to find more ways in which he can align with his I am presence, and that is what we have to strive to do. Scientific method. A person knows the spiritual scientific methods of precipitating spiritual and material gifts from the universe using upper three chakras, heart, throat, and eye. Heart chakra imbibes pure love of devotion. The throat chakra invokes the science of spoken word, and the third eye is for the screen or the vision to download the spiritual image. That's the eye magic in the matter plane. That's very straightforward. So just to do the mastery of our chakras. Life, a word life is synonym of the light. In other words, the divine interpretation of life is light. I think we have spoken about it, that life is infinite. And when we see life from the eyes of the I am that I am, from the divine, then we see that the life is basically vibration. It's no more, a set of circumstances to be lived on the planet. No more like that. Person is able to raise his vibration by devotion. So, we are on the planet Earth for a purpose. So that's the intention of our today's workshop also, to find the purpose. What's the purpose that we are here? We are not here just because we are born and then we have to, earn money and eat food and create babies and, create relationships and earn money again and then, buy a house and so on and so forth, a title, big job. That's not all that we do these things because that's part of the cycle of earth, of being human, but that's not our true purpose. So we'll understand that more so when we understand the divine qualities, and it will become more clearer to us. So a person who is doing this is able to raise his vibration by the devotion, also by chakra meditation. Is very important we do these things, and to assimilate light within to a level of the I am that I am, or Aham Brahmasmi. He reunites or integrates himself with that, and thus he attains an eternal life. There are so many decrees you could do actually. 50.05 is one such decree which you can do. It's a beautiful decree. Health, healing, wholeness, rejuvenation, regeneration. They all mean the same. They're very high vibrations. So the person who is living in this domain will always feel interconnected to everything. They will always, their bodies will always regenerate. They will stay away from ailments. There are many ailments that people go through, complex. But a person who is living connected with these learnings, and they're continuously in the search of the higher energies, and they are practicing the word of God, all the messages that have been given to us by the ascended masters, will will experience how their body starts to heal, how the people who they relate to, they start to also become they also start to heal in their own problems, how the situations that they experience, they start to alter. It's very, very important, because unless you start seeing these things happening, you must know that there is a movement happening in your shift in your energy, and it is not done. Nobody can do it for us. That's also important. Only you can do it for yourself. So coming to this workshop will not help. Maybe I've shared good things, but it will not help unless we start doing the work. We need to do that work. Yeah, a person who embodies one of these qualities embodies them all. In other words, the one who has understood the secrets of the mastering perfect spiritual health in his own four lower bodies, etheric, mental, emotional, physical, also knows the virtues to regenerate the light and rejuvenate of light of positive energy in his body. One way can do this above is because the soul is made up of light. We only can do it in that way. So 10 7.10a 7 and 7.10, the 7.10 is the decree of Kuthumi, and 10a is also of Kuthumi. That's a very nice decree we can do to bring this awareness. Most of the things also happen while we do the decrees, and when we listen to these knowledge. So knowledge plays a very important role. Okay, so it has a multi-direction. We have to learn, get knowledge, apply, do the practices, then support other people, assist, and then continue this kind of a learning process, evolution of this process. Direct, indirect precipitation of spirit and matter, from the spirit and matter, sublimation from the matter to spirit, tangible proofs of the spirit, squaring of the circle. What does it mean? So squaring of the circle was a term in one of the incarnations of one of the ascended masters. I think it was Hilarion, or no, it was Jesus Christ, or maybe it was Jesus Christ, or it was Saint Germain. I think it was Saint Germain. He created a square of spirit in which people used to, for years together, they used to go and they used to, transmute all their negative energies. This was much before Christ. I had the session, I think it was on the 6th ray. So you can hear more about it in the 6th ray. I've explained about Ascended Master. No, 7th ray, I think. Yeah, 7th ray. So I've explained about this, about Saint Germain, and about this whole story in that. A person possessing these qualities understands the science of spirit and matter, and the two sides of this, they are the two sides of the same coin. So we always now must understand the spirit and matter are the sides of the same coin. Yeah, two sides of the same coin. Okay, we are always one with this. So some people feel that I need to do this to get enlightened, do that to get enlightened. It's not true. We are always having our enlightenment along with us. Always it is with us. All we need to do is we need to start to switch. We need to switch our understanding of the way we see reality. It cannot be done just by altering our psychology, but psychology plays a very big role. It has to be done through meditation, the various other practices like decrees. He is an alchemist. So person who understands the the spirit and the matter are the two sides of the same coin. He is also an alchemist of the spirit who has received the gift of precipitate, spiritual, unseen by the naked eye, energy into the material form, which is basically to dissolve them back into the spiritual realm. So somebody who can change from the solid to the gas without going to the liquid is a person who is an alchemist. He undoubtedly the presence he has undoubtedly the presence of spirit of Aham Brahmasmi in him, and he does not require the tangible proof to demonstrate it. So they understand reality much beyond any human normal brain or any other ways of explaining things. Squaring of the circle, God as I am in the spiritual plane in a person means lowering of I am in the human body matter plane of the devotee. So the square implies the four lower bodies of the man. Babaji is a bodhisattva who can materialize the body and dissolve at his own will. Yeah. So one can read about Babaji in the book, very nice book, Autobiography of a Yogi. Even I have to, read that book. I've got that book with me. I have to read that book. But in the 33rd chapter, there's a strong mention about this quality of Babaji, ascended master. He is one of the unascended masters. Gratitude, constancy, consecration, generosity, open-mindedness, free flow of the electron. Again, all these qualities are interconnected with the manifestation of simultaneously to a person. Gratitude being the grateful for all that I am in the personal and the impersonal levels at all times. Person always remains constant, consistent in his devotion with I am and consecrates. Basically, consecrates means that he accumulates himself 100% to God self and generous and maintains an open mind and open heart at all times. And then he aspires around this kind of a thought around him. Through these attitudes, he maintains a free flow of energy and his chakras and lowers his bodies without causing any blockages. So, changing our energies can also be done through changing our habits, certain habits, not judging. Dropping all the negative energies that come to us as soon as we realize that we are around a negative energy. Practicing being in the state of non-judgment, of being in the state of nothingness. So these are certain things. Going on a voice fast for maybe an hour or 2 hours or a whole day, or people do that for multiple days. Music, mathematics, laws of principles of cosmic harmony. The person in this inner ears hears the rhythm and music of the nature. He understands inner mathematics of the laws of nature, spiritual plane and earth in the matter plane, as above, so below. Though the prism of the I am that I am, he is in sync with harmony with the nature, without, outside of him, and within him. So basically, he is in sync with the outside and inside. So a person, he can express himself without the fear of being judged, without the fear of ridicule, without the fear of being humiliated, without the fear of feeling that he is small. And he can accept another person like that. So that is why it is without, inside and within. That's why it is written as that he is in harmony of the nature, without, outside of him, and within himself. So I think perversions, as I said, they are just the opposite of the quality, and it's very self-explanatory for anybody to understand. Like error, insufficiency, lack, spiritual impoverishment means that a person not focuses on the perfection and the purity, but focuses on always the error. Yeah, his choices are based upon his impulses, not on the basis of what is pure, what is perfect, what is divine. He never considers the knowledge of perfection and purity above him. He always thinks that his ways are the right ways. He always stays in the lack of the spiritual abundance. He feels that he cannot get anything by the God's grace. There is no grace for such people. Nescience, superstition, accident, chance. So a person who is in this energy of negativity would always attract such kind of life, because he doesn't believe in divinity. Then this person dwells on the practices of superstition and take chances in practices of gambling, etc. And such people are vulnerable to meeting road accidents as they walk around having openings in their aura to attract all kinds of negative energies. So we need to remember that superstition isn't divine quality. Some people believe in superstition as divine quality. They say that the cat has crossed the road, so this is not auspicious to cross the road. And there are so many other unauspicious things that people believe in. So superstition that they believe in. A superstition you have to write down. It is also an important learning from the from the higher realms. A superstition is only a superstition till the time we don't recognize it, that it's a superstition. When we recognize that this is a superstition, it no more holds any value. Death. People who get wrapped up in such energies are on the death spiral, progressing in the downward direction. In other words, their souls are losing the light. Eventually, they result into death of the soul. It's a very poor state to be in. Many people are in that state on the planet. So they are just living through the motions, and they are doing their job and they're living a life, but they don't feel anything. They don't really feel at all how they feel about themselves or about others, whether it's good or bad. They don't feel anything. They're more into addictions, disease, a house divided, aging, degeneration. People with this perversion attract all kinds of diseases because their mental and emotional faculties are disagreement with each other. So in other words, they are not connected with their I am presence, with their threefold flame. In other words, they have a house divided. They become old quickly, and the vibrations are of creativity are completely low. They're no more creative at all in life. Absence of manifest works, absence of virtues and things in spirit made practical in the spiritual form. So the person in such has nothing to show in their lives as good or the virtues which uplift them. Ingratitude, inconsistency, carelessness, desecration, and lack of givingness. So small-mindedness, envy, jealousy, greed, covetousness, possessiveness, imprisonment of energy. So basically, there are some 10 different such forms which person is possessed with such things. He will live his life in ungratefulness. He will not be reliable. He will only think of personal matters, always think of immediate benefit. So his lower impulses are more at play. No more he's worried about like if I have we create relationships even though they are distant relationships. If I have promised that I will come and I will meet my people on Sunday 12:30, even though 16 to 18 people confirm that they will come, that I don't disrespect myself to be there. I honor myself to be there. I'm doing this and I'm bringing my best self forward. So one of the ways we can improve our negative habits is by inculcating a practice of bringing our best self forward. So if I have to talk to my son, I must bring my best self forward. If I have to talk to my wife, if I have to talk to my wife, or if I have to talk to my friend, I must bring my best self forward. What does this mean? It means that I will be more sober. I'll be more I will be sane. I will be more in integrity. Okay, and by doing this, sometimes we honor things which others, we value them. Like if I have addiction of drinking, if I honor my wife, if I honor my parents, and they feel that it's not, we should not be in this kind of a practice, then I would not do it, and so forth. Yeah. So such people, they never think about that. They only have a short sight. They always live on lower impulse. Being possessive, people are very possessive, and they want to always keep to themselves. Being greedy, we relate to these things in some level or the other. It's there in us, so we have to understand it first, that it is there, and recognize it. And when we are doing this, we have to the body will be uncomfortable. We have to face it, and that is the step one. And then gradually we let it go with love. That's the process we all are going through. And unless we do it, we always continue to be a trap of all these emotions, feelings, and thoughts which are not in our control. and full of envy and jealousy of others. Their motto is ask not what you can do for others, but ask what others can do for you. And what can you do for me today is their motto of life. In harmony, I think it's very clear. These people are disturbed and they always in their heart are inharmonious. They are never stable in their mind, in their body, emotional body, because their mental and emotional vibrations are not in sync. They portray, for an example, a house divided which is waiting for a destruction at any point of time. Okay, any questions on the fifth ray?
Yes, brother, I have a question. How do we know that's a superstition?
So something which is superstition continues to be a superstition until we know it's a superstition.
That's what, how do we know that one?
Quotation mark.
Yeah.
We cannot until we identify that it is a superstition.
See, my mom gives me whenever I go home, like India, when I visit India, my mom gives me a black thread, something to put on my leg. She says,
Okay.
those things or
Okay.
yeah.
So one of the way to do that is to ask questions. When people don't answer you is because they don't know themselves. I was told by my mother to drink milk before I go to office or go for my exam, and I don't know why. And if I ask her and she doesn't know why, and if she asks her mother and she doesn't know why, then I'm not getting any answers. And this is not the same thing like divine learning. Divine learning is coming to us from the God directly, right? So these things eventually will make sense when we are practicing it for a longer time. But for sure, you will get an answer if you continue to dwell into that question, sister.
Okay. Yeah.
But when you reach to a stage when something has no answer and still people continue to do it, that's perhaps a superstition. There was a superstition, there was a culture of sati, to burn the female for whatever reason, and that continued for many years. And up till a time, somebody continued to question that why we want to do it, and if it was considered to be a holy act.
Yeah.
And now it stopped from many years. And there was a superstition that the earth is flat, and people never used to go beyond a certain stage of the earth or the waters, because they thought that they will fall down, and they will not be recovered until the person continued to question with a very logical mind, and they did research and they used a lot of methods. Till then people never knew, and now people know that the earth is round, and we can go around the planet. We can go through road, we can go through sea, we can go through air, whatever, but earth is round. It's not flat. There's no end where you will fall down. And there's so many superstitions that we believe. So one of the ways is to keep questioning it. Maybe a person can't answer, but then ask this question to somebody else. Like about the thread, maybe ask some more people. It's okay to ask. I feel it's okay to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have an answer like black and white answer that there is this test. If you do, you will come to know. That I don't have. Any other question?
Oh, we are fine.
Anju is on blinded screen. Any questions, Anju or Mabel? All good?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. So the sixth ray is very quick. We're talking about sixth ray. It is the color is blue, and it's on Monday. And the sphere is the outermost sphere. That's the seventh sphere. Blue is also a synonym for protection. And Ascended Master Michael works on this ray very powerfully, and Mighty Astrea too. But the focus is our right now on the qualities. So peace, ministration, brotherhood of the family, and the family life, all these are part of this. peace, a person who who strives to magnify energies of peace in his body, temple.
Sorry, excuse me. Is it blue or purple?
Blue. Monday. Blue color. Sixth ray is blue color.
The first ray color was?
I think you are right. Sixth ray should be
Purple.
Yeah, may not be purple, but it could be
Purple
violet.
and violet.
It could be violet. Sixth ray is 1 minute.
Seventh should be violet. Sixth should be
Fifth
purple.
Fifth is green. What did we miss here? The color is there. Yeah. So yeah, let me check. I'm checking the day. No, the color is correct. No, this is sixth ray. You're saying the color should be purple. Okay. You know, I get confused myself sometimes. Sixth ray is purple. Fifth ray is green. Seventh ray is no. This is purple and golden. Yeah, correct. And the seventh ray is violet. Yeah, you're right. It's Thursday. Thank you for the correction, Anju.
Thank you.
I hope others are correct. Only this one has an error, but I will check. Purple and gold. Purple and gold is on a Thursday. Very nice. How did you immediately identify? I could understand it because we have done blue earlier, and it could not be along with blue. The sixth ray cannot be blue. But I was reading in the flow and I missed it. How did you identify?
Only that blue one, so I just thought.
Okay. Your video is stuck. Okay.
Is it? Yeah, there is some connectivity problem. I just restarted again. There is some problem.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Perfect. I'm fine.
Okay. So, okay, thank you so much for that correction. Let's go to sixth ray. I was talking about sixth ray quality peace. So, this person strives to magnify the energies of peace in his body, temple. He has perfected his solar plexus. So, solar plexus is the chakra of emotions. And one of the things which always keeps troubling people is the emotional imbalance. And the synonym of this is peace. So sixth ray is basically dominant on the solar plexus. I should have written solar plexus here. Then also it becomes easy for me to remember. Okay, I'll do this correction in the sheet and I'll post it in the group so that it's easy to remember, because then this error wouldn't have happened. Anyways, it's okay. So synonym to the imbalance of emotions is peace. So a person who is dealing with naughty problems, they can go to the God self and they can work on their solar plexus chakra to cleanse their solar plexus chakra. I had a very heavy solar plexus chakra and it's actually getting soothed out from some time. And that used to impact in anger for me personally. It used to happen like that. So that disturbs the harmony actually. So imbalance of emotions, opposite to the imbalance of emotions is peace. A person who strives to magnify the energies of peace in his body temple has perfected the solar plexus chakra to serve as a reflector or a mirror of his God self. I am that I am. His energies in the solar plexus have become calmer, like water flowing in the sea and the sun reflecting on it in the perfect oneness. I have somebody asking me something. Thank you, Manju and Akash. Okay. Ministration and service. So such a person knows his life is intended to be lived in the service and ministration of others. He enjoys others because he sees himself in them. Because we bow to our I am presence, so we bow to the I am presence of another person. That's what it means. Brotherhood and the family life founded in Christ. A person understands the true meaning of the universal brotherhood. As I was explaining to you earlier yesterday, that when we understand that all of us are interconnected and our problem is not the only problem in the world, or it's not the unique problem in the world, and then at some point of time we will face that problem in our some lifetime, and we must remember that we must be okay about talking about our problem, how much ever bad it is. How much ever bad it is, it's okay. We don't have to feel that this is something which is unique to me. Or if somebody shares with you about their problem that they have gone through, which you can never imagine in this lifetime, you can just tell that it's okay that you have gone through it. I may not have gone through it, but I can feel connected to you to some degree. And that's the first step, that you open yourself to connect with other people. And that is where you create your brotherhood. It is not by going to a temple or a church and a mosque and saying that these are only my people. That's not okay. That's not enough. Balance of the Christ in the individual and society. So in the true sense of the brotherhood, you don't distinguish between the evil and good. You take everybody along with you. That's also one of the learnings. You don't choose between people. You take everybody with open arms. Balance of the Christ in the individual and the society. He holds the balance of others for others who are spiritually weak by providing the needy people his God-given gift of talent, time, and prayer. And I was telling you yesterday that if you have some skills or you have an ability to learn certain skills, you must learn and help others with them. Desirelessness, harmlessness. The person who has mastered the quality has achieved the desirelessness in himself, and he is no longer in human desires based upon eat, drink, and be merry. Instead, he is only looking for the desires of God, which are everlasting, in here and now, to love life and be free. He is mindful of other people's needs and is willing to extend a comfort and give them a cup of cold water. In similar ways, we talk about the perversions. So opposite to that, okay? Peace opposite is turbulence, no, war. Person who is in this will always see disharmony. He lives his life in the state of ongoing emotional turbulence. And he has a continuous war in his members. Members means his feelings and his thought, mental faculty. Overly questioning all the time to all the learnings or to any messages or with people or their actions. So that's again a constant war, state of war. He is prone to living a life of disintegration, disease, and death. Ego-centered. So I just observed Anju, her network had a problem. She got logged out. Anyways, so oh my God, hold on. I didn't click on this itself. I didn't know. Okay, fine. I was saying about ego-centered existence. Human ego has many facets, including anger, pride, false humility, non-forgiveness, hardness of heart, hatred, resentment, irritation, agitation, etc. So these are common things which we have. And one of the things which is most common is, the pride. There are various facets of pride. So I will be taking one session on that, and it's very beneficial to know. But as such, a person who lives his life around these perversions has an existence in the meaningless of no use to others. And no use to others, yeah. Disruption of the family and community life through perversions of the threefold flame. Such persons disrupts the natural flow of life as intended by God to the fruitful in multiplying the virtues of the sixth ray. Instead of expanding the threefold flame within, such person is on the road to slow death and extinguishing the threefold flame. Imbalance manifesting as clans, gangs, social cliches, group marriages, free love. So, people who are in this habit of misusing their energies, they are in sync with the support of different lifestyles of gangs, of clans, of group marriages, and free love. So, this all is prohibited. The word is not prohibited. The word is that these are all negative perversions. They spiral us down. They take our energy down. Also, listening to different kind of heavy metal, the musics, they have been designed by negative energy. They take our kundalini energy down. They don't uplift us. There are certain musics, if you listen, you listen to music of Strauss, you know. There's so many musicians, classical music, Indian classical music, that actually lifts the energy up. And people do not believe in the civilized societies. These kind of people, desirelessness, harmfulness. Such people are always, they are in the state of, they want to possess things, they want to misuse, abuse things, harm people. They enjoy pain of themselves and others. They are addicted to the pain. Any questions for the sixth ray?
I'm not sure if it is only for me. There was some connectivity issue in between, that the voice or the video will go.
It was for you actually. I don't know whether anybody else faced this, because you were logged off for a few minutes.
Yeah, it would go. Now I'm connected again. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think you lost first 2 or 3, right?
It's okay. I'll catch up later. If it is being recorded,
It's
I
just
was worried if it...
it is just the opposite of the qualities. So whatever we learned in the qualities is just the opposite of that. So actually the session is also recorded, so you can go back and hear this section later as well.
Sure.
The seventh is violet color. This is correct, I know, but let's check again. And violet color is always on a Saturday. But let's go and check again. Seventh ray, violet color. Yeah. So seventh ray is Chauhan is Saint Germain, and the Elohim is Arcturus and Victoria. It's about freedom, justice, tolerance, mercy, forgiveness. So violet flame is a flame which was gifted to us long back, and then it was revoked from us when El Moria, who was the king of the Sahara Valley, which was more than 50,000 years ago, he was given a direct message from Father Mother God that the energies of violet flame are being misused, so we need to revoke this. So he, along with his 562 emissaries, his closed ones and trusted ones who were practicing the violet flame purely, he invited them for a dinner, and after the supper, after the meal, all of them were resurrected, and the violet flame was revoked from the planet Earth. Up until 250 years ago, Godfrey is also one of the ascended masters who received a message, direct message, disposition from Saint Germain to reintroduce the violet flame decrees, and that is when he started writing them down, and the decrees are available to us now. And this is a new age. That is why we call this as the the returning of the golden age. The Aquarian age is the returning of the golden age, and God have given us another opportunity to use the violet flame in the right way. The violet flame is also called as, it's the flame of the seventh color. Violet flame is also called as the shortest distance between a problem and a solution. What is a straight line? So shortest distance between 2 points is always a straight line, correct? So violet flame is called as the shortest distance between a problem and a solution. Shortest distance between 2 points. That's what it is called. If you have any problem, if you start decreeing, violet flame decrease, you will see the difference coming to you. You must do it for a certain period of time. Like I know some people in our group, they have been doing violet flame decrease from at least more than a month now, and they do it for more than half an hour a day. Like I try to do it now at least 15 minutes a day. That has been there my routine for the last 9 months. So violet flame decrease 15 minutes a day is very powerful. Minimum 15 minutes. You should aim for more time, but minimum 15 minutes. Do it the way it is meant to be done. It is really, really powerful. And I've spoken about violet flame earlier in the seventh ray in more detail. But yes, violet flame decrees are very powerful. Talk about anything, whether it's relationship, money, health. You feel the difference very, very quickly, very fast. So I just wanted to leave you with that. Violet flame gives a person a gift of freedom from the energies of addictions and bad habits from the lower self, even bad habits and old patterns of behavior and thinking, and also releasing of the old karma. It offers a person the gifts of tolerance and mercy and forgiveness and patience towards oneself and others. We can transmute. So Mother Kuan Yin, she is very, very forgiving, and her level of forgiveness and mercy is so high that sometimes it becomes unbearable. As I was telling, that the senior levels of the rays are unimaginable at our level. This is one of the messages which I have heard, that when we practice forgiveness and mercy at this level, mercy, forgiveness, and compassion at this level, we will find it overwhelming for ourselves. It will be unbearable, because we may not even be able to hold it. That can we be so forgiving? Can there be mercy to this level? But when you pray in front of the violet flame, the God is saying, Mother Kuan Yin is saying that I forgive you for anything. She doesn't hold any judgment. You pray in front of Mother Kuan Yin's altar, and you say whatever it is, or Saint Germain's altar, and you say whatever it is, and they are happily ready to forgive you and give you mercy and compassion. Liberty, ritual of life. Liberty means exercising virtue of freedom to be what God in the first place intended his offsprings to be on the planet Earth. So that's what it means. Yeah, it means that exercising the virtue of freedom to be what God in his first place intended his sons and daughters to be on the planet Earth, by taking dominion over everything. Ritual of life means the understanding of life as a natural rhythm flow of a cosmic dance between the spirit and matter, and vice versa. Invocation of sacred fire, light, action, flow. Invocation of sacred fire is nothing but how we invoke the science of spoken word, which is Aham Brahmasmi. When we do our sacred fire, so invocation of sacred fire is normal practice of doing the decrees. You could talk about, so each of these decrees are basically fire. They are all sacred. This is also called as fire yoga. So we have heard about different forms of yoga, right? Different forms of yogas are, it could be Hasta yoga, the physical yoga. There are different forms of yoga. I think there are 4 different forms, right? Do you remember the names?
Yeah, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga.
Raja Yoga,
Karma
Hatha
yoga, bhakti yoga.
Yeah.
Karma yoga, bhakti yoga,
Karma yoga,
jnana
bhakti yoga,
yoga,
yeah.
jnana yoga,
And Raja Yoga is an accumulation
Raj
of all of
yoga.
them.
Yeah.
Raj Yoga is accumulation of all the three.
Yeah, and then we
And this is
hear
the
of
fifth.
Agni Yoga. Agni Yoga also is a word.
Yeah,
Hellenistic and Theosophy is used there.
Agni Yoga is very powerfully used from the Theosophical Society. So
Yeah.
earlier we Hindu used to practice 4 forms. This 5th form is the new one actually. This is the Agni Yoga. We are doing these decrees. It's not they are not just words. You know, there are when we reach to a certain mastery, the way we speak, that becomes a sound. That wavelength becomes the wavelength of light. Sound starts vibrating at the wavelength of light. But up until that stage, we are still doing this decrease. They are basically in the etheric plane. This is nothing but fire. So when we visualize, it's very important that when we visualize, in this case, we are visualizing violet flame. We're visualizing violet fire. And violet fire is one of the most powerful fire on the planet Earth because it transmutes every negativity. You bring any negativity to it, anything that we are talking about, these perversions, you bring in this, they will get transmuted and you will feel the change in your threefold flame. That's what I wanted to say. So the science of the spoken word when used as an invocation of the sacred fire, violet fire, transmutes the negative energies into the positive energies and restores the natural rhythmic flow. Diplomacy, tact, poise. Some people I never believed in diplomacy as a positive trait, but ascended masters say that being diplomatic is positive. Sometimes to be quiet is more helpful for a person to progress in their spiritual journey, even though they can justify themselves because they see that the other person is not in a position to hear, and that might lead to a conflict. They choose to be quiet. Sometimes not to respond in a obvious manner is important. So diplomacy is that to learn how and when to respond, how and what to do, how to react. By using the violet flame decrees, one learns how to be masterful in using the row of diplomacy. So row is nothing but a stack of eggs or a stack of row of uh, qualities. So there are not one, there are not two, there are thousands of qualities of diplomacy. So one cannot, we don't need to ask anybody, but we can go and pray to the violet flame. We can do the decrees. The word is not pray actually, it's a decree. We start doing the decrees and we start learning various forms of diplomacy. I just shared one of them, to be quiet at some time. Tact. We learn all this, poise, in everyday communication skills. It's very important that we alter the way we communicate because our communication is one of the most powerful tools available to us to basically speed up our ascension process or to also reduce or to impede our ascension process. Science of alchemy, transmutation, law of transcendence, progressive revelation, prophecy. By the use of the violet flame decrees, one transmutes the negative and transcends negative karma and transcends oneself from the lower plane of the consciousness, the human self, to the higher plane of human consciousness, higher self. One becomes an alchemist who changes a base metal into the gold. So, in practical sense, an alchemist can change the base of the metal. In practical sense, so in spiritual terms, when we say the alchemist changes the base metal into the gold, is nothing but when one transmutes the negative energy into positive energy. That's what it means. It's basically kind of abstract. By the use of the violet flame, as an intensity of negativity is removed from the chakras. one becomes more ready in understanding the depth and the breadth of the spirituality in life. It makes one ready to receive high gifts of the prophecy from the God self. Going to the perversions. Any questions from the plus rays of seventh ray? Can we move forward? We are good? Okay. Servitude, bondage, injustice, intolerance, hardness of heart. So they are all opposite to gratitude, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, right? Becoming like that. Person who's misusing these qualities, he's nothing but he's becoming servitude. Servitude, I forgot the meaning actually, but I can't do it while screen share. Servitude is, okay, I'll tell you that. Maybe you can find out. Bondage, intolerance, hardness of heart, cruelty, etc., and practices of them on others. So I think servitude is more towards being ungrateful and being revengeful, unforgiving. It's just the opposite of this. Like we are talking about freedom, justice, tolerance, mercy, and forgiveness. Somebody who's in this mode will always be unforgiving. They'll always love to be. Some people love to be in bondage. Like, there are people, I'm not excluding myself, by the way, including me. People, they like to be in bondage of others. They also like to be in bondage of themselves. So they like this aspect of being in bondage. And they've picked it up because it's not this lifetime. We're talking about the cause effect record and memory are from other lifetimes. We don't have human explanation to many things that are happening in us. So now we are reading these terms. Maybe this is just opening our mind. This is called as broadening the horizon. Currently we are in that state. Then we will speculate ourselves. I will give you that assignment, and then we will understand a little bit, slow by slow. And then we'll start practicing it. Then we'll understand even more. So this is a new word in the context of Ascended Masters teaching. So people love to be in bondage, and injustice becomes a part of life. Like if somebody has done this, he must repay like that. Haven't you heard this common? We also accept, we also agree to a community when people are saying, "Is bande ne, this guy did this, so he should repay in that way." However, God's way of doing things is different. They don't believe in that ways of justice. Their way of justice is to perhaps give them a lesson which helps them to learn. First, forgive them to start with. Anyways. So servitude, bondage, injustice, intolerance, hardness of heart. See, a person who has hardness of heart will not feel for another person. Cruelty. All these are basically punishments, They do the same to themselves to start with. And we are all part of that. We are not separate. So we have to learn to go deep. There are so many deep hidden such aspects about ourselves also, our psyche, so that we can bring them on the surface, uncomfortable at a moment, and then let them go. Let them go, surrender to them, and do decrees so that they transmute forever. Ask God to take them away from you. Libertinism, license, disorderliness, disorganization, non-integration, disorientation. I think this is very clear by the word. Under these provisions, a person lives in a way that is not moral. He has a disorderly lifestyle, lacks the living in an organized way, has difficulty in integrating with others, and faces challenges in orienting his energies on a given task. So if you ask this person, he will not like to be in a group where there are certain organized ways of behaving, acting, performing, for whatever reason. So the kind of a person will never like to do things in an organized way. Okay, incantations and moral cursings, hexes, prayers of malintention, stagnation, death. Such people use foul language from the incantations and moral cursings. So you have heard people speaking foul language for other people, even bad words, or they just cursing them. So that's but nothing but hexing them, black magic. That's all creating black magic actually. He practices sending negative energies through hexes. See, that's what I was telling you. Even yesterday we were working on one of the ray, I think second ray or third ray, where we were talking about hexes and black magic. So they speak about so saying negative information also sends negative energy to another person. So that is what is important, to do the protection decree in the morning, to be in the pillar of light. Like I did one prayer before I entered into today's session earlier, and that keeps our energies centered. All we need to do is we need to be connected to our highest self. And whenever we are faced with problems, we can do a very quick fiat, just using this name Vajra, or using this name Shiva, using this name Archangel Michael, help me. In my personal life, I have many such stories to share, where I have witnessed help like this, altering the situation. There are many places that you can't help. So you could do a decree for yourself. What would you do about somebody's habit who is in this state, and they are also a family member? You can't give up your family. You can start doing prayers for them, but in a crisis, you can always do a fiat. So such people do negative malintentions, and they send death energies to others. In such people, their creative energies, they become stagnant and they are almost blocked. Yeah. Lack of savior fear. People with this perversion lack the ability to act and speak appropriately in the social situation. They always are very abusive or critical, majorly critical. Misuses of the sacred science. Wrote in transigence, okay, dogma, perversions and misinterpretations of the scripture and the laws of the truth, mouthing of evil spirit. The cumulation effect of the perversions of the seventh ray results in the people in misusing the meaning of holiness in their life as a sacredness. They become rote and mechanical in their spiritual practices. So even doing a decree or a prayer or a mantra or some practice that you're doing with a closed heart, doing it as just a ritual, may not give any power. But doing one decree with your senses which are open, that will give you more power. So there is no power in the decree. I want to tell you that. The power is in us. Unless we do a decree with that proper structure, I have been always saying this every single time I say this thing, because I want to remember it for myself. That's why I say it to everybody. Unless we do it with a proper structure, those decrees don't work. We cannot use the decrees just because we had made some wrong karma. That's karma dodging. And God has put a limitation to impacting, bringing forth outcome from a decree, to making it effective. So you can't do a karma dodging. People create negative karma with the intention, knowing that I can do a positive karma to balance it. You can't do that. They believe in a point of view put forth as authoritative without adequate grounds. They like to receive authoritative views from people, and they like to give authoritative views to people. I've been like that for the most part of my life. I thought this is the way to do things. Authority always takes over. If authority says, that you follow. And that's how things have to work. But this is how, is not the right way. That's not the right way. They misinterpret sculptures while evil spirits and entities speak through their mouth. So they don't identify the right meaning of the scriptures. There are people who are in the practice of spirituality who practice spirituality from the position. They make that as a position. And they also start believing that they are they are senior, that they have spent 20 years, 30 years, whatever years, XYZ. And because they are senior, they have understood more. So they start holding a position of some authority, or of some righteousness, or of some stiffness, that this is my principle, this is how it has to be. And they lose the connection with their heart, and then they lose the connection of being open to listen to other people, to also see that they have to be sensitive around other people. And then it becomes more of a rogue routine. And if you practice something which is becoming a rogue routine, you lose the highest teaching. And that is the only time that the learnings start dropping. So we have to remember that until the last day on the planet Earth, till the time we have received our ascension, even after receiving our ascension, we have to continue to stay in the mode of learning. I think that completes the 7 rays. So any questions so far?
Yes, I wanted to ask, if you don't mind, Akash, what is a fiat? Please.
Yeah, fiat is a quick prayer. I'm not. I'm just very watchful of using this word prayer, because it means different for us from the conventional way. But it's a very quick connect with the ascended masters, especially when you are unable to really do a proper process of doing a decree.
I see.
Like, I lost my connection with my I am presence. I am really in despair. I'm furious, and my heartbeat has raised, and I'm no more integrated fully in my body. Maybe I'm in the state of despair or anger or disappointment or whatever, and or sad, and I just forget completely that I have access to to all these resources, to the energies, and to the decrees, and all the practices are available to me. I could do them, and that is when I can just remember one word, because I can't remember other things. I remember one word, Shiva, or I remember one word, Archangel Michael. So I just use that one word, nothing else. Or there are some set of 4 or 5 words. So there are many various fiats available. One of the fiat is just saying Shiva, 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 because Shiva was a destroyer of negativity, and he has given a promise. He's a very senior ascended master. Shiva, Surya, Ganesha, they are very, very senior ascended masters. They have given a promise that if you call my name, I must come. And that is the power of human threefold flame that human being has, that the gods, they have given themselves, offered themselves so abundantly and wholeheartedly, that even when you call them, they directly come and sit beside you, stand beside you, shoulder to shoulder. So they will not let anything wrong happen at that point of time. You could see that there is something which is going to destroy, maybe it destroys a relationship, or it could disturb your harmony of your family or your business or whatever, and you are in a state where you cannot remember anything. Sometimes situations arise in life, we are not always sane to the best of ourselves, and that time we can remember this fiat, and we can just say this, maybe any of them. So I just gave you one example, and the masters have promised that they will come, and that is why these fiats have been given. Just using this word, they have said this. If you use this word Vajra, that Vajra is one of the forms of Buddha, he will come. And Vajra is basically holding a scepter, and the scepter is basically destroying the negative forces around, and it opens up the mind. So using that fiat, Vajra helps the person, or Shiva helps the person, or Archangel Michael, help me. This word itself, it helps people. And there is one more. I never knew that this is also a fiat, but this is also a fiat. It is You would have heard it very common. This too shall pass. When we face so much crisis, people can have many problems. You can just use this maybe 100 times a day, so on and so forth. Is it helpful?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Yes. So helpful.
Any other questions anybody has? Anything you would like to share before we have completed the session for today? Before a few words, I will say we can end the session then.
Nothing from me.
The assessment thing, how will it we be doing it? Assessment for the day.
I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Any questions till now so far for this session?
Thank you. A deep thank you for your dedication.
Thank you so much. I made a choice to spend some time doing this work. I gave that promise to myself, so I try to do whatever is possible. Any questions? Anything so far that we have covered? Any questions? Okay, so I have thought over this during the session that I would share the assessment sheets to you through email and only on request. So instead of posting that assessment in the group, for the very fact that people who have not yet gone through the 7 rays would attempt to do the assessment wouldn't really get a right answer for it. So that's what I'm going to do. That is one. Number two, I'll go through the assessment sheet now quickly so that you know the structure, the way it has to be done. Okay. That's number two. And number three, once you do this, once we finish the session for today, maybe you can make a note of it. Write this question on top of it and keep this question in your mind, that I am asking myself a question. Do I want to cultivate a desire to be godlike more than anything else? So it's a question that you have to write down. Do I cultivate a desire to be godlike more than anything else? Have you written the question? I need a heads up. Thumbs up. Anju, it will be good if you, there's a very 5 minutes of thing remaining. If you could switch on your camera, because this is, the last part. You wrote down the question. Okay, good. I think Mabel, okay, I don't know if you have written the question. Okay, maybe she is writing it. Done?
No.
Please once.
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Please repeat once. I missed a word somewhere.
All right, the question is,
do I desire?
Do I want to cultivate a desire to be godlike more than anything else? And by that, I mean all the qualities that we have spoken in the last 2 days, all the 7 rays qualities. Yeah. All done? Written?
Yes.
Written?
Yes.
The second point is, you can write down, how would my life look, various aspects of my life look, if this is the prime motive of my life? Or you can write, how would my life, all the aspects of my life look if I cultivate the desire, if I cultivate this desire?
Yes.
Got it? Simple, right?
Yeah.
If I choose to be godlike more than anything else, then how would my life look like? All the aspects of my life look like. So this is basically a background, like, this has to be on the back burner of your mind while you do things. So what it will do is it will open up. You'll start seeing things which you were not seeing before. You'll start to see things in a new way, what you were seeing before, but in a new light altogether. And when you do that, you might want to go back and refer to this document, which I have shared with you all. And then ask yourself questions that, okay, if I have to be godlike, then how would my life look like? And then you will start to, this will become, when you say that things are moving, we were telling that, you will start implementing it, then you will start see the implementation of the things. This is the real time when the rubber meets the road, right? And when you continue to do that for a few days, then you start to answer those questions. Because answering those questions is a matter of an hour or more, little more. But how you answer those questions is very important. When you answer these questions with a little wisdom, see, theoretical versus having a little more wisdom, practical aspect gives you more, that makes you more accurate in answering the questions. So answer those questions after spending at least 3-4 days, and then start to answer. Maybe Thursday or Friday you answer those questions. Okay, clear? Any question? Okay, I just share my screen with the assessment.
The question, can I speak?
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you.
The question, do I want to cultivate desire to be free resonates more with me, to be godlike?
Because being free is equal to God, actually. So you can use that. But why I'm using that word is because the thing is that we are looking at the God qualities over here. So
yeah. That will make us free.
we are talking about the Ascended Master's teaching, and each of these colors that we have done represent each ray and each God quality. So we are God's sons and daughters, and by that what it means is that God's qualities are in us. So you have to actually revisit the session 2, first or second session. It's a very important point actually explained in that, because we were not created just to live a life. I mean, we thought that way because our lower energies are, the fallen angels want us to do this for centuries together so that their business can run. We are only here to evolve. The only reason why we are here is human beings they have been given gifts of threefold flame. There is no threefold flame in everybody like that, I don't know about all the animals. I don't want to go to that subject because I don't have any mastery on that. Human beings were created in that way. The threefold flame is an opportunity given to us, so we have to use that opportunity. How soon we get that, we don't know. But fallen angels don't want us to they want us to continue to be in this cyclic. This is why there is one session we will do about the cyclic nature of being on the planet. It's called as the cosmic clock. So
One more question. Master DK has given the great invocation. So are we using this in the Ascended Master teachings as well? From the
Of
point of
course,
light?
of
Okay.
course. Yeah,
Okay.
Jolkol is a very amazing ascended master.
So we are
So
using this here also. Okay.
yes, so
Master
there are
teachings.
more, there are thousands of ascended masters. And Jolkol is one of the senior ascended masters. And I can talk about him, but I feel there's a limitation of time. But I can talk about it, and we can share a lot of great things that he has done. And he has his retreat also in India. So yeah, all the decrees that he's part of the whole group. So there's another thing which I had learned, that we must not identify with some pictures that we see from some different sources, but we have received pictures through ascended masters, and they have been shared in the Summit Lighthouse
Okay.
website. So we must use those pictures if we really want to connect with the picture. But essentially ascended masters picture is not so critical in that way. The most important is their learnings. But
Yeah.
people like to connect to the picture, and it's okay, because we want to create our altar, and it's a great access. So connect to the pictures which have been shared in the Summit Lighthouse only, because
Okay.
there are maybe lakhs of pictures of Archangel Michael, and
Yeah.
Archangel Melchizedek, and so many angels are there in the website, and they are not correct. So they before so 95% or more of the humanity is engulfed in the dark energies, or the energies of the fallen angels, or the strategy of the dark forces. Very few, not even I would say 2% of people, they are in this business, or they are in the journey of bringing forth light. And this percentage is increasing very, very fast now. It would have become 5%, I don't know, but it's increasing very fast right now, because this is a golden age. It's in the process. Golden age is in the process of making. The Aquarian age is the fast track mode. Okay, all the masters are really putting a lot of energies and efforts, and the new people who are being born, they are already having a lot of channels which are open. If you look at the new kids, Anju, I was talking to a friend. Her kid was explaining her things which she understands now, and not her kid, her granddaughter. I am amazed. Granddaughter told that we should not eat non-veg because, and then she gave an explanation, which I was amazed to hear, that I am understanding it now. And you are telling a child of 5 years old is telling these things. I mean, coming to the point. So, yeah, so Jolkol's teachings are aligned with Ascended Master teachings. He's a senior Ascended Master. So, yes. I'll just share the screen 1 minute. Okay. So let me know if you see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is, it's a self-explanatory assessment. Okay, there are 3 parts to it: part 1, part 2, and part 3. So in these 3 parts, I mean, they are divided based upon virtues and qualities and miscellaneous. In all the 3 parts, the commonality is that we pick one out of this. So in this, we pick one. Yeah. Each one of them. I will read it. Okay. In each horizontal row, there are 7 words or phrases. Rate each of the word or the phrase on the scale of 1 to 7, where 7 stands for this applies to me the most, and 1 stands for the least. And use each number in the series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only once in each row. Got that, right? Got it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So because you have all these, you can use, let's say that you wrote, I'll just show you. You can create a chart. You'll have to create a chart, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah. So make them blank. So create the same chart like this is drawn. Use an Excel maybe, or do it with your hand. And then in the empty cells, you have to put only one number once. Yeah. So from A to G, number 1 can come only one time. Got it? Like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you look at this one, in this, whatever when you're done with all the rows, add up your scores for each column. So we have to add up the score for each column.
Okay.
Should I read it
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
It's clear to me.
So in each horizontal row, there are 7 words or phrases. Let's pick one, okay? Let's do this exercise with one of you. One of you volunteer. Chalo. Okay, Meena, tell me which word resonates with you more. If that word resonates with you, any one of them, and which? Tell me now. Out of these 7.
Yeah, comfort.
So in the whole this first row, you will put number 7 here. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You erase comfort and write 7 because 7 is your most appealing.
Okay.
Okay. Then which resonates the least?
Humility.
Okay. So humility will be given 1.
Okay, yeah.
And like that, you will go through the sequence of the most to the least.
Okay. So I'll
Lesser
order,
than,
I'll number all the words.
you'll number all the words. That's all you're doing. So
Okay.
because these are 7 columns, so you'll get 1 number in each column.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same exercise you do for the second row and the third row and this, all the, how many rows, whichever they are. Okay. And in the end, you take the score of 1 column and write the whole sum of that summation. And for the second and third and okay, so forth. Any questions here? Don't do it today, huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Each of these words now play a role. When we were doing the exercise, it was sounding to be overlapping and all that, it was painful. But now each of these words will play a role when you answer them. Because that is why we were going through that exercise. There were certain words which we were saying they are overlapping. But there was a difference between those 2 words. So now we understanding them through the word document, and then we are able to also put them in our life a little bit to start with, and then make a choice here. Because then we are also understanding that, okay, this is how we understand things, and this is what it means to us.
There are some words like abundance or beauty. How do we order them? Like, is beauty is related to what? Is beauty what I look in others, or beauty around me? In the A column.
See the document, go through the document as much as it's possible. If you feel that you don't have much answer from that, then you use your own understanding about it.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
But beyond the document, you have to use your own understanding.
Okay.
Document, where has it been shared?
It's in the drive. I will share the link in the group now.
Okay.
I think I have not shared the link in the group, but I have uploaded the document to the drive. But the link is shared with everybody. Actually, I don't need to share the link because I will tell you. In the group, if you go to the group description, in the group description, there is a link. that link is there, and that link has all the documents. I keep adding to that particular link only. That's the main link in which if you click, you will receive all the videos and you'll receive all the documents every time. After every session, I upload to that link.
Yeah.
That's the main path. So Meena, for you, abundance, 1 second. For you, the like you said about abundance, Meena, like that, anywhere you get stuck, you have to use the document, step 1. If that is not enough, then you have to use your own judgment to this, because I will not be able to tell you anything beyond it, because that is the only access that all of us have. Even I have done it in that way. And there is one more point that I would like to highlight, that it is recommended to do, if you are in this practice, it is recommended to do this exercise twice, only 2 times ever. But if you continue this practice, then you should do this exercise second time after a couple of months, maybe 5-6 months or so. But it's not required beyond that. Shall we go?
Yeah.
The same you have to do the second, actually. In fact, there is nothing new in this. Do the same thing for the second and the third. And then when you complete this, you can create your chart. This is the chart. And in this chart, you have to mention the scores of column A, means the first questionnaire, second questionnaire, and the third questionnaire.
Okay.
And the sequence is important. Better is that if you take a printout, but nevertheless, even if you write down, please, after writing down, you cross-check that you've written the alphabets correctly. Otherwise, you can make an error, because then the answer will not be correct. And once you find out your dominant ray and your second dominant ray, then you would like to revisit the document again, because you would like to see what are those good qualities in you. It's very interesting.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any further questions?
Do we need to send this to yourself, or we can assess ourselves and keep it with ourselves?
You don't need to. In fact, you don't need to send to anybody. It's only for you.
Okay.
Just for you. You don't need to share it with anybody at all.
Okay. Once we found out what is our highest score and ray, and then what?
Then you go back to the document just to recheck. Let's say it's first ray. Your dominant ray is first ray, and you go and recheck what does it mean to you, and then start to see how does it correlate in my life, and that could be a big starting point, and we can start to do more research about it, actually. To start with, to practice those God qualities and work on transmuting those energies, because that becomes one of the important part of your life. Like, you do other things and you continue to do, you continue to be a daughter, you continue to be a, I don't know what all roles you play, but you continue to play those roles. You continue to do that, be a good employee, but then this becomes one of the critical parts of your life. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I think these questions which we are having will continue to have. This may not be the end of it, but this
my
is a new
second
beginning.
highest score is, what does that mean? My second highest score is?
So everybody is having a dominant and a second dominant ray. So that second highest score will become your second dominant ray.
Okay.
And if you have a tie, that is possible sometimes, then it's okay. Then maybe let's say that you have a tie on the third ray. So Anju will have third ray as her focus. And if you continue in your practice to the Ascended Master teachings, which I really hope that you do, and I genuinely feel that it's really valuable. This teaching is the best teaching, highest teaching that is possible, so holistic and so vast. Then you probably will revisit this after 6 months or some more time. And then when you do that reconciliation exercise, the same exercise, maybe the rays are same or different. Most likely they are the same. But that gives you a good opportunity to also see that if you know the first assessment was at not the perfect one, but in the second assessment maybe you have practiced for some time, so that becomes more accurate for you.
And how does the interpretation go? Purpose of life and the ray, how would that be executed?
So if you look at each ray, let me share that. I'll close this, okay?
Yeah.
So if you look at each ray, I think I'll talk. We have already shared so much. So if you look at each ray have a definite style for each ray. So that is why it is important. Actually, it is good that for each ray we know that who were the ascended masters who were working and what was their life purpose for that ray.
Okay.
अब जैसे ज्वाल कोल, he is working on a specific ray also.
Second ray, I think.
I
Love,
don't.
wisdom. Love,
Yeah.
wisdom, second ray.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think.
have to check. Okay, if you have checked, then it might be that. So I don't remember it by heart, but he's working on one specific ray because all the ascended masters are appointed to different divisions, ministries. Okay,
Yeah, different ashrams. Yes.
there's no competition, and there's no hierarchy. There's no preference. The gods don't deal with things like we do. We have a hierarchy system. We have a system of bifurcating things in this order, but gods don't have that. It's nothing is better or prior or above another. Like each one of them their own duty. But anyway, so Jolkul works, like, for that matter, Saint Germain, he works on the 7th ray. I'll talk about one or two which I remember. So I remember a couple of them, but yeah, let's talk about 7th ray. So suppose yours is 7th ray, for example. So then you might want to visit, maybe you can visit one of my lectures in which I've spoken about 7th ray, what it means. So in the 7th ray, we have Ascended Master Saint Germain, and then we have Arcturus and Victoria as a Elohim, and we have Archangel as I have to remember that. So how they have lived a life, and I have explained about at least 6-7 embodiments of them. So that gives you, like, it's like like I want to be a good chess player. So wouldn't I want to go and look at Vladimir's ways of doing, and I will read books of chess.
I got it.
So you're a doctor, so you want to do research, and you check your discipline area, senior PhDs and who have written books and all that. So you learn, you study on them. It takes time, no? You do it at your own pace, but study on them. What did he do? 7th ray master. If you start reading about any ray, I promise you'll be zapped. So amazing. So amazing. Like the things that they have done on the planet while they were alive, they were living.
It is about
That's one.
So it is about So it is about perfecting our already existing ray. The ray which we represent, we have to perfect it by looking at. And
yeah. Wouldn't that be a good idea? I'm asking.
Yeah.
If this life birth, you found that this is a dominant, unique quality in you. That's a God quality which is more shining. You have all the 7. You must work on all the 7. If you ask me, Akash, should I work on all the 7? Of course. But wouldn't it be a good idea to spend more time to give focus on one? Because honestly, all the 7, to have a life purpose, we must devote it. We can't do everything. We have 1,000 things in this world, right?
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can look at the God qualities of that. So one access is to study those masters. That really helps you, because when you see the way they operated, sometimes El Moria gave his life because he had to show. He was a father of a very famous guy, and he had to show. He was a lawyer. He had to show and he was also a friend of the king. But he did not bow in front of the king because king was not doing the right thing. So he went with the path of truth. So he had to display, because Anytime he could be released from the prison. But he was captured. Nobody could capture him only, first of all, because he was a friend of the king. But he chose that. Okay, I want to. So he told his son in one of the discussions that I am choosing this. Don't fear. In his words, he has given a whole statement. Don't fear, because this will be the path for the rest of the people. My giving life is not being a coward. So you will understand ki what is happening, what people are doing for what reasons.
Yeah.
And that became a like a trailblazer or a path finder for a or a show giver to the other people. Yeah, example for the
Very
other people.
interesting.
So
Yeah, very interesting.
this is
The chart
one
and assessment,
strategy.
very interesting.
Yeah, this is one strategy you can look at. You can examine life. Other angle is to look at the dominant color of the race qualities, and you can start doing some research on how these qualities can be brought forth in life. And then you can also do different fire yoga, because for each ray there is a different fire yoga. Like for green color, you can do the decrease. So decrease is the yoga here. Here fire yoga means decree. So if your dominant ray comes green, like in this your case is 7, for example. So 7th ray is violet flame. So you spend more time doing violet flame. Anyways, violet flame everybody has to do. You do more. Or if your dominant color is yellow, so you do yellow color also. So basically, that's what it means. For yellow color, Lord Lento is there. So you study more about him also, and master those qualities. So that will become another life purpose, to master those qualities. So maybe each quality, then you have to go back and do some research. Ki how does this quality be? Like Buddha had to take multiple births. I'm talking about Buddha right now, yaar. Come on. He is given the title of the Lord of the world. He was so powerful in his teachings. So he had to come because he could not master one of the things earlier. For only one petal. So like that, you can do research and find out, okay, for my ray, what are the things which in that also there are so many, not one. In one ray, there are so many qualities. So you can identify which one I can master more. So violet ray comes in on a Saturday. So Saturday has 6 petals. So 6 petals each petal has feminine and masculine qualities. So you have 12. I told you in the session 12 for violet flame, right? Now we're talking about the 7th ray. So 12 will have 6 masculine and 6 feminine qualities, right? So you find more research in that. See, this will continue for time. We'll talk about it later, because me to answer your question requires little more for you to also come to that little more stage, and I can answer to a certain limit only, and then do more research on it yourself, because I'm also learning, to be quite honest. I'm just like you. That's it.
We learned a lot. It was a really good session.
Yeah.
And the assessment, more we do, will come to like know more.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very
That's
interesting. The way it has been put up,
yeah.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, this is all work done by the Summit Lighthouse people. So eventually, when we connect more, there are certain things to be more connected with the source. To be, once you finish this assessment, it will become organic for you to connect with the source. So that's basically becoming a keeper of the flame. But I think we'll talk more about it later on. But we should go step by step. So, if the doctor will give all the medicines in the same day, so the treatment will not get fast. It will
Toxicity.
spoil.
It will be toxic.
Nothing will get fast. So I'm talking to doctors, I have to speak like that, Yeah. Yeah, yes, sister. Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Unmute, please. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Just to ask again, please, Brother Akash, where do I access the assessment documents? Will you be sending it to us on WhatsApp, or how?
I have your email IDs. I will reconfirm them.
All right. To email. Okay.
Yeah. I want to do it like this because Anybody who wants it, I'll send them, because I don't want this to become, because I have, before any document that I have shared with you, I have taken alignment and permission. I cannot share a single document without a permission.
So
Yes.
we will
And
send our mail ID to you. So
and
you
that is
can-
why I don't want anybody who is not also, listening to it to just misuse it. That is also another reason. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to share this document for sure, but only once people go through this, which makes sense. Otherwise, it would not value them also. That is my main intent.
Which is
There
why
can be
which is why we
miscommunication as well. There'll be misinterpretation as well.
yes.
Absolutely. So,
Which is
so
why
we
we
want
had
to
to
serve
register
anyone.
with our email address.
Let me reconfirm your email address. It is mabel.regis@icloud.com.
That's
And
correct.
Anju,
Yeah.
and Anju, your email ID is dranjoo1111@gmail.com.
Very right, very right.
And I don't have Mina's email ID.
She just left 2 minutes back. She informed that she has to leave and she went. So we can connect later on.
I'll ask her then later on.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's do a closing invocation. She's there. Mina, hello.
No, she had
Mina,
to
can you
leave.
hear
She
us?
posted.
Oh, okay.
Message.
Thank you very much, brother. Had to leave in 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Mina, just one quick
Okay.
thing. Can you share your email ID? Have you shared with me earlier? Can you send it to me on WhatsApp or, oh, this is your name. No, I was searching for Meenakshi Madineni. In fact, I was searching for this name. Okay, your name is Meenakshi actually. Okay, I have your email ID. Yeah, then I sent to you through email. And any other questions? Meena, were you part of the discussion or you left earlier? You heard out. Okay. You're on mute.
Okay, I'm listening, but I'm doing something else, packing something else. I'm listening while.
Okay, fine. So you heard it, right? So I think we have reached to the end of the session. Any other questions before we end?
No, that's fine. Yeah, all clear.
Okay. I will play an closing prayer. Just give me a moment. Let me know if you see the screen. Okay. That means for everybody. Yeah. So this is the closing prayer in the name of, in the voice of Elizabeth Clear Prophet. So you all can do this together. I'm starting it.
Light of the eternal spheres, Elohim of God, beloved Hercules and Amazonia with us, seal us in the Emmanuel, seal us in the light of Sanat Kumara, seal now the emergent grail of each one, seal the flaming potential of the soul, the heart and the mind, and the physical foundation thereof, the mental, the etheric, and the feeling world. Seal these hearts with living fire. Seal them now as we sing to the Ancient of Days, Sanat Kumara. Fill our grail, fill us now, Sanat Kumara, and let us be a living replica of the chalice of Elohim and of the Ancient of Days. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Mother, we accept it on this hour in full power.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So thank you so much. It was a nice session. Thank you for being wonderful participants to this and giving all your time and energy. So I take that very preciously.
Who's that voice, brother? Who
Thank you so
sang
much. Learned a lot. Yeah.
the prayer?
Thank you.
Sorry.
Who's the voice there? Who voiced that one? The prayer?
That's Elizabeth Clare Prophet. She She was the one who is the co-founder of the Summit Lighthouse, along with Mark Prophet.
Okay.
And yeah, and one of the days I'll play one of the lectures in which she has shared about her 9 last incarnations, where she was a princess of England and all that, and many births. Mark Prophet was the father of Jesus.
Okay.
So yeah, and now she's ascended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Okay. So thank you.
Thank you, Akash.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, we should clap for him. Yeah, we should be clapping.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Meet you all. Bye-bye.
And thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Meena.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
beautiful
everyone. Thank you,
souls.
Akash. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.